I watched Baan over the weekend. Let's talk about it. So, over the weekend, anime YouTuber Giguk actually made his directorial debut with his own original anime called Baan. If you don't know Giguk, he's famous for the Trash Taste podcast alongside his regular channel Giguk. And for a really dope thing, he actually put up his own money aside and created his own anime inspired by his own culture called Baan. Now, Baan is a double isekai involving two characters. So the story follows Daichi and Rinrada, two people who both leave their homelands in search of a new life through a kind of double isekai type of play. They both go through a portal and both end up in their world and in the human world, and both try to adjust to living life in a new perspective. And we have two main different worlds, with Rinrada kind of giving up her somewhat celestial deity abilities and kind of taking on the life of a regular person. And then we have Daichi as a man who is currently trying to figure himself out and find his place in the world, who gives up everything and kind of escapes into this fantastical new world in search of a new future. And I enjoyed it. We got to see certain parts of it where seeing Rinrada kind of go through the ups and downs of trying to make it in everyday life. Watching her try her best earnestly to see what it's like to live in the human world and earn an honest living. While we still have somewhat connections to the past, and eventually she realizes that she is much happier at home, where she returns home and somewhat to live with Daichi. And this is where the story kind of loses me overall. Like, while I do think it was not that bad, the plot really is not there and it's kind of hard to follow. And overall with the review, like, the narrative to me just does not make sense. It's very jumpy. But from what I understand, he had a rush time to actually deal with everything. So for what we did get, I do think that was actually worth it. I think the voice acting and the score was actually great. So this was actually done by Sid Snap, which is his wife, another YouTuber, and Alex Lee as Daichi as the main male lead, who both, in my opinion, did a really good job on voice acting. And I would say the music was honestly incredible. Like, the sounds and aesthetics that they actually used for it, the traditional music that they brought to this, I think they did a great job when it comes to the score. If I had to give this a score, I would give this a 7. I get that he was working with constraints for the movie, so not everything panned out the way they wanted, but the story they told off was fairly decent. I love the music. I thought the character designs were great. The voice acting was solid. I can't really hate on the series, so I'm going to give it a 7. So that's just my opinion. It is free on YouTube, and I will link that in the comments below. Tell me what you guys think. This is Super Comic Kevin signing off.